Hey everyone, I'm Austin. I'm sorry I couldn't be there today, but I just wanted to share a few quick words about Tom and what all he meant to me. So, I remember back when I first met Tom, we really bonded over the Spitfire. If all of you know Tom, I'm sure you know of the Spitfire. It was this old British sports car that he had that he bought and really started restoring it from pretty rough state it was in when he got it to practically brand new by the time he was done with it. He bought this motor for it, this crate motor that was all like dirty and rusted and worn down, and he had it sent to our house in North Carolina, and he got it set up in the basement for me, got me set up with a bunch of tools and everything down there, and then he spent so many hours working on this motor in the basement with me, just like teaching me how to work on motors and just being patient with me and just guiding me through this process as I learned it and just spending some time with me, and his patience throughout it. I have to commend him for that because I'm sure I wasn't the easiest to work with at all times, but he stuck with me through it. And he taught me a lot through it, even when we faced some particularly tough challenges working on that motor. He taught me a lot with that, and then eventually, when the Spitfire was running, he taught me how to drive a stick shift on that thing, which was super fun, and it was something he loved doing, was driving that thing around and just getting to enjoy it, getting to enjoy his life. And I remember one time too, I had this crazy idea. I was like, hey, I wonder if I could go up to this archery tournament up in Pennsylvania. But then I was like, I was in high school at the time, and I was like, I don't have anyone to go with me. I don't have anyone to drive me up there. I can't make it all on my own. And then I thought of Tom, and I called Tom, and he drove up all the way from Georgia, picked me up in North Carolina, drove us up to Pennsylvania, stayed with me there for a few days at an archery tournament, and then drove us back down, and then drove back to Georgia. He was very loving, and he would always go out of his way to help others. You know, that was a major thing for him to go out of his way to do, to take me all the way up there to that archery tournament. But he took the time to drive up there because he really valued spending time with people, the people that he loved and the people around him. He just enjoyed that time spent with them, doing things that people enjoyed, and just he always found time to do things with people, which was really cool. He had a lot of patience too, whether it was when we were working on the motor together, whether it was working on the car, the hundreds of times I called him outside of that to say, hey, my car's making a weird sound. What's that weird sound? He always was patient with me, always had an answer, always willing to talk, and just take time to patiently explain things, even when he might have had to explain them a couple of times to me. But that was just something I really appreciated about Tom, was his patience and just his willingness to go out of the way for other people and just always show up for people. He had a huge heart. He loved to do things for other people. He was very generous, both with time and money. He was just a very generous person, and his faith was incredibly important to him, which is something else that I looked up to, especially later on when I started following Jesus as much as I do now. I started to realize how important Tom's faith was to him and how important it was for him to get to church. And that's one thing that's given me a lot of comfort through this situation. I hope it has for all of you as well, because as much as this is a sad occasion, when we lose a friend like Tom, we lose someone we care about so much, we also know that there's celebration in heaven right now. We don't have to wonder about where he is. We don't have to wonder, will we ever see him again? Because we know we have that reassurance, that hope in Jesus, that we know we're going to see him again in heaven, and that's what he would want. So above all else, I think he would want me to tell all of you that we will see him again one day in heaven, because he followed Jesus and he loved Jesus. In the end, that's all that really matters. We had the car, we had fun with that, we had the motor, we played around with that, and it was super fun. But in the end, we can have all the things in this world, but if we don't have Jesus, we have nothing. And that's one thing that I know above all else that Tom had, was he had Jesus. He had his faith, and he put his faith in Jesus, and I know where he is right now. So as much as this is a sad occasion, it's also in a way a celebration, because we know where Tom is right now. We know he's in heaven. We know there's no more pain up there. The Bible tells us that in heaven there will be no more pain. There will be no more suffering, no more tears. Every tear will be wiped away. And we know that that's where Tom is right now. And one day we'll all be there with him as well. And I look forward to that day, seeing him again and seeing all of our loved ones up there and seeing Jesus. And it's going to be a great day.